Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And today we're schlepping through the letter J with two composers who could not be more different. Joplin and Jongen. Yeah, really rather different. Scott Joplin, the great ragtime and piano guy. First, the Redback Book. This is a classic EMI. It's EMI Angel. I got it when EMI was still Angel Records. Oh, baby. The Redback Book, the New England Conservatory Ragtime Ensemble under Gunther Schuller, and Elite Syncopations, the Southland Singers. So you've got like these two collections of things that were, one of Gunther Schuller's most wonderful things was his orchestration of Joplin and his handling of that music. And this was a delicious, delicious disc with all kinds of fun stuff. You got the Maple Leaf Rag, the Entertainer, the Easy Winners, Ragtime Dance, Chrysanthemum, the Cascades, and some of the same things being performed by Elite Syncopations. Heliotrope Bouquet, The Strenuous Life, The Sycamore, Eugenia. It's just wonderful music. Absolutely wonderful music. I've saved it forever. Then, finally, you may recall a couple of years ago, RCA finally emitted the complete Scott Joplin with Dick Hyman playing and U.B. Blake giving his demonstrations on how to play ragtime. That was such a wonderful thing. But before that, there was this Gold Seal Singleton disc, which was all we could get our hands on CD. And so, of course, I got my hands on it. It has all the most famous things, Maple Leaf Rag and the Easy Winners and the Sunflower Slow Drag and the Entertainer and Elite Syncopations and the Palm Leaf Rag and Something Doing and Weeping Willow and the Cascades and Sycamore. It doesn't have Bethenia Waltz. That's interesting. But, at least we had this. They're wonderful performances. They really are. If you don't have that complete, 4 discs or so from Dick Hyman that's on RC, if it's still available, who knows? Grab it. Then we've got Tremonisha. Gunther Schuller orchestrated the opera, which is complete in piano score. But Joplin never orchestrated it, and I don't know if it was ever performed. Certainly not with orchestra, but maybe with piano. We have Carmen Balthrop as Tremonisha, Betty Allen as Monisha. Betty Allen's voice was wrecked by the time they did this. It really was. Curtis Rayam, Willard White, Ben Hamey, Cora Johnson, Kenneth Hicks, and like other famous people with Gunther Schuller and the, conduct the original cast orchestra and chorus. So there it is, it's a nameless orchestra. But it's a wonderful, simple folk story, a folk opera full of just terrific music. I mean, the story is very simple. It's Tremonisha brings education to her people. That's sort of the story. The music's great. And it was Joplin's only opera, and that's awfully nice to have. Then we have the piano rags played by Joshua Rifkin on Nonsuch. Now, Rifkin's performances are really different. It has Solace. The Mexican Serenade. I love Solace. It's so beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. You also get the magnetic rag, the stop time rag, and some other things that aren't on the Dick Hyman disc. One of the things that Rifkin, you remember he's famous for doing Bach 1-2 apart. Remember that? And he also played Joplin. His Joplin is much mellower than Hyman's. It's relaxed and kind of, laid back, I think is probably the word. But they're beautiful performances, and this is another one that I saved forever in trying to collect complete Joplin sets. There were some complete Joplin sets on CD in the meantime, but, Dick Hyman was the one to get. Then we've got Joseph Jongen, the Belgian composer, who lived from 1873 to 1953. He had a nice long life. He wrote wonderful music, and most of my Jongen is upstairs too. But, I had some duplicates, which I shoved down here. We have Impression d'Ardenne, which is lovely, and his cello concerto, and the Fantasies sur deux Noëls populaires wallons. So the fantasy on 2 popular Wallonian Christmas carols. It's very attractive, late romantic French style music. So if you like that sort of thing, you're going to love this thing. This one is with the Orchestre National de Belgique. And let's see, Mary Halink, cellist, and Roman Kaufman is the conductor. So we got him. Roman Kaufman was responsible for doing some excruciatingly boring discs for MD&G. Remember that? He did like a Shostakovich cycle, didn't he? And I don't know, it was just awful. This is quite good. More his Fach. And then we have, last but not least, oh, this was fun, the Jongen Symphony Concertante for organ and orchestra, along with the Franck Fantasy in A and Pastoral with Michael Murray, and the San Francisco Symphony under Edo Devart. Now, these recordings were made in conjunction with the dedication of the new Ruffati organ in Symphony Hall in San Francisco. And I was there at that time. Yes, this was printed in 1984. So I was there. That was my first year, I think, at Stanford. Well, second year at Stanford. And so I was there for like the organ inaugural stuff and some of the things that they did. And boy, was that organ loud. It was like absolutely a 747 revving up. I said at the time they shouldn't call it the Ruffati organ. They should call it the Pratt & Whitney organ because it sounds like an aircraft engine or something like that. But oh, the Symphony Concertante is wonderful. And the organ here it just blows the orchestra away, actually. There is a better recording of the Symphony Concertante on Dorian with Jean Gaillou playing the organ. But still, I mean, this is a very exciting performance. The recording is thrilling, and what the heck? It's just louder than loud. And that, my friends, does it for this bit of jazz from the Overflow room. Keep on listening, and take care.